We're going to work on the sleeve. First, you'll start off on one side of your sleeve with green, and then you'll go to pink, green, pink, green, pink. So you'll go every other color on one side of your sleeve. So what I'll show you in this tutorial on this side of the sleeve is you're going to start with your pink color and then go to green and pink, green, pink, green. So it's going to be the opposite color effect on both sides. So grab whatever color you want to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and start with pink. Grab your pink yarn. You're going to join it right here in the seam. So join the yarn right at the top between the seams there, spot that works for you. Let's do a chain one, and I will single crochet right into that join. Chain one. Now between the top of your seam all the way to this corner right here where it becomes green, you will do your moss stitch evenly down. So 17 single crochets evenly spaced to the corner here. You'll notice that your edge is a little rough. It doesn't have those single crochets to go into, so do your best to get 17 on this side here. One way to figure it out is up to this point you do have single crochets with chain ones, and that's a total of 12 you should have. So that means you should be able to put 5 more into this top portion. So here you can see I've put my 5 moss stitch up to the point where it now has the chain one spaces, 12 of them. So go ahead and do your 12. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, and do this all the way to the edge, the corner. Here's 12. So that was a total of 17 from the seam down to this corner. And inside this one corner, do a single crochet. Put it in there wherever you think it'll fit best. We're not going to do a chain one here to prevent having a big gap in your armpit. So just do a single crochet, no chain one. Even though it's going to count as it's just going to create this gap here already that you can work into later. Into this next portion down here, you should be able to do 13 moss stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. Then you'll come to another corner where you do a single crochet. Go ahead and put your 13 moss stitch into the bottom, which is that side panel, and I'll meet you at the next corner. Coming up on 13. Now into that corner, you'll just do a single crochet, no chain one, although it will count as a moss stitch just because it will create a big gap there. We have our next side, which is going to be the same. So you should be able to do 12 moss stitch up and then do 5 in evenly from here to here. And I'll show you how to do that if you think you can't fit 5 in here because it's too big. I basically do kind of decreases all the way up. I'll show you how I do that. So we have to fit 5 more evenly here now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you might be thinking, well, that gap's a bit big to have 5. So what you could do if you wanted to kind of put it together is you could pull up a loop and then pull up a second loop into another spot closer to where you want it to be, and now you can do your single crochet and chain one. And go ahead and slip stitch into that first stitch that you started with. So that's your 17, 1 inside the seam, 17 along the next side, 1 here, single crochet, 13 evenly along the side, 1 here. As always, chain 1 as you turn your work. For this round, you will simply do moss stitch all the way around for a total of 50 single crochets. Go ahead and do that for this round, and then in the next round I'll show you how we do our decrease. I wanted to show you here at the corner where we just did a single crochet without the chain one to prevent having a big gap there. So to put your moss stitch inside, just go in between those 2 single crochets right under this bump here, and that's where you'll place your single crochet and chain one. And then you should continue on with the chain one spaces for your moss stitch. At the end, you should come to 50 total moss stitches or single crochets, slip stitch to the top of that first single crochet, turn your work and chain 1. And this round we'll be doing a decrease. Do your moss stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, and then decrease. So the way we decrease, moss stitch decrease, I put your hook in through the chain 1 space, yarn over and pull up a loop, put your hook in through the next chain 1 space, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 for your moss stitch decrease chain 1. Do that again where you do moss stitch 8 times and then the moss stitch decrease. Do that 5 total times. And you should come to a total of 45 single crochets at the end of this round. This is the end of round 3 for your sleeve. Slip stitch to the top. You should now have 45 total single crochets. Turn your work and chain 1. We're going to do a decrease round again. This time though, you'll do the moss stitch 7 times and then you'll do a decrease. Total of 5 times. So this is round 4, 7 moss stitches and then a decrease 5 times. Here's my last stitch. And then you'll join. For rounds 5 through 10, you will do moss stitch all the way around. Each round will have a total of 40 single crochets. Just keep track of where you are and just keep going around 5 times. Turn and chain 1 for each round. And I'll see you at the end of round 10. At the end of round 10, turn your work. Before you chain 1, however, grab your other yarn. Mine is the green color, and put that through and start your moss stitch into the next space right here using your new color. So single crochet and chain 1. And then I like to go ahead and knot the back end just to keep it secure. For this round, you'll do 20 of the moss stitch with the green yarn, and then you'll switch to pink. So you will need to cut the pink yarn here, and then you'll add it back again when you get to 20 stitches at the back end. I'm at the end of 20 for the green yarn. Grab your pink yarn again, and after you've done your moss stitch, which is a single crochet, chain 1, grab your pink one, pull it in to that chain 1, and then go directly into that next stitch. Into your single crochet. Don't worry if the green yarn is very loose, you'll tighten that here in a moment. So do your single crochet and then go back to your green yarn and you can pull it tight. And again, I like to secure the 2 ends to make sure that the pink yarn isn't going to go anywhere. Don't cut your green yarn, leave it on there. So now you have your pink and green yarn attached at different ends here. Continue now with pink yarn. So you did your single crochet, chain 1 for 20 more of the moss stitch with your pink yarn. And when you get to the end here, I'll show you what we do. At the end of the round, join to that first single crochet in the green. Turn your work and just make sure you count. Make sure you have 20 single crochets in the pink and 20 single crochets in the green. And now for round 12, you're going to do the same thing. You turned your work and you're going to do 20 single crochets with chain 1s in the pink. And when you get over here, you're going to switch to your green and do 20 rounds in the green. So complete your pink and I will show you how we do the transition to the green. And I'm just working where I have the yarn attached on both ends, green and the pink. Here I'm at the end of the pink half. I've done my single crochet chain 1. Grab your green yarn, pull it through the loop on your hook, and then you're going to go into your next chain 1 space, to your single crochet and chain 1, and then go back and pull on the pink yarn here and pull it tight so that it doesn't have that big cap there. Now continue doing 20 for rounds 12 with the green yarn. I'll meet you when we get to the end of the round. I'm at the end of round 12 with my last single crochet chain 1 in the green. Find that very first single crochet in the pink. Do a slip stitch. Now turn your work. For rounds 13, you're going to do the same as round 11. Basically, you're going to do the same thing, which is do green for 20 stitches all the way to this side. Switch color to your pink. Do 20 all the way down to this point. Slip stitch to here, and that's going to be round 13. And then since you would have ended on the pink after the end of round 13, you're going to do pink all the way back down to here, switch to green, which your green yarn will be over here now, do green all the way over to here, slip stitch to this piece here, and then turn around, and round 15 you're going to be in the green, and coming back this way, switch to the pink, go up here, and then slip stitch to the top, and round 16, so forth. So you will continue rotating between what was rounds 11 and 12 that I just showed you, pink and green, 20 stitches each. What I'll do is I'll meet you at the end of round 20. Count each round when you slip stitch to the top of your first single crochet. And I like to just keep a computer or pen handy to mark when I've finished a round. I'm at the end of round 20, and if you're not sure, you can always count your work, and I'll help you do that now. If you're not sure how many rounds you did, all you have to do is count up on your stitches 20. Look for these two little legs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So that's 20 total rounds. What you'll do for round 21, you should have ended on your green if you're following my color scheme. Instead of turning and chaining 1, you will just chain 1 and go right into the next stitch. You'll go into here and do your single crochet, chain 1, and continue so that the green is now on top of the pink. And make sure you count to have 20 total single crochets of green going all the way this way, and then you'll switch to your pink and do pink on top of the green, and then you'll turn and go back the other way. So continue doing rounds of green and then to pink, and then pink back to green. You're going to do a total of rounds 21 to rounds 40. Make sure you've counted 20 total single crochets, and when you've come to the end of your round, slip stitch to the top of that first single crochet when you switch color to green, and then turn your work and continue as you did the previous rounds. So you'll do a total of 20 more rounds of pink and greens all the way up. And so that's rounds 21 to 40. Here we are at the end of round 40. And if you don't know, we can count 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. At the end of round 40, slip stitch into that first single crochet, chain 1, and don't turn your work. We'll begin round 41 with a decrease. So you're going to do a moss stitch, single crochet, chain 1, and another one, second one, third one, and then in the next stitch will be the decrease. Put your hook in, pull up a loop, put your hook into the next space, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 and single crochet, and that counts as your moss stitch. So continue the pattern of doing 3 moss stitches and then a decrease, change to the pink color, and continue doing your decrease all the way to the end for round 41. You should end with a total of 16 single crochets in pink and 16 single crochets in green. That's the 16th single crochet. Now I'll switch over to the pink and do your normal single crochet, chain 1, and I just pull on the back. See if you have this kind of bigger loop here, just pull on your green on the back and it'll tighten it up for you. So continue with the pattern of 3 normal moss stitches and then your moss stitch decrease all the way to the end. I'm at the end. I did my last decrease, and I will slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet that you started with. Turn your work and chain 1 for round 42 all the way through round 49. Continue with moss stitch 16 times around with the pink and keep alternating your colors back and forth. And if you ever get confused, just go back and count your stitches and make sure that you have 16 in each color with the single crochets. I'd like to do a recap of where we are with the sleeve. The first round, you attach your yarn to the seam here with the pink, and you did 50 moss stitch all the way around. Round 2, you did 50 moss stitch all the way around. Round 3, you did a decrease. Round 4, you did another decrease, ending up with a total of 40 moss stitch all the way around. So then rounds 5 through 10, you just did a simple moss stitch all the way around. When you got to round 11, you added in the green yarn. So you cut the yarn, added in the green yarn right here where it would line up with the seam. And so you would have 20 single crochets each of the green and 20 single crochets each of the pink. And then at the end of those rounds, you swapped the colors. And so that means you would not turn. You would just chain one and continue on with the pink or the green, depending which color you're on. And you would just do the same thing where you would do 20 moss stitch on one side of color and then continue with 20 moss stitch of the other color. 20 rounds of that. You will do 3 moss stitch and then your moss stitch decrease. That will end up with a total of 16 moss stitch in each color. Turn my work, chain one. Next, you'll want to do moss stitch to that first chain one space one time, second time, third time, 4, 5, 6, and then do your moss stitch decrease. Insert your hook into the chain one space, pull up a loop, insert your hook into the next chain one space, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook and chain 1. 6 moss stitches and then a moss stitch decrease. You'll do that 2 times and then you'll switch to your green yarn and you'll do the same exact thing. So here I am at the end of the pink, and I'll go ahead and go back to green. Go into that very first space, do your single crochet chain 1, pull on that pink yarn a little to close up the gap that you might have there. And so continue with your decreases, doing 6 moss stitch, then the moss stitch decrease. And when you get to the end, you'll slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet. That'll be a total of 14 single crochets in each color. You will continue doing your normal moss stitch all the way around, rotating between the 2 colors. You'll end with the green, chain 1 and don't turn. And so with your green, we'll do another round of decreases. Go into that first space, do your moss stitch 1 time, into the next one a 2nd time, 3rd moss stitch, 4th, and a 5th. At this point, you will do your moss stitch decrease. Do that 1 more time, switch to the next color, and then do the same thing. And at the end of this round, you'll end up with 12 single crochets in the green and 12 in the pink. You'll continue with the moss stitch. It will be a total of 12 single crochets in the pink and 12 single crochets in the green. Do your moss stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now your decrease. Do that again with the pink, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now your decrease. So you're doing decrease twice after 4 moss stitches, and then switch over to the green and do the same thing. Continue on, and you should come up with a total of 10 single crochets in each color. I'm at the end of this round. Slip stitch to the top, turn your work, and chain 1. Do regular moss stitch for each round, which is 10 single crochets in the green and 10 single crochets in the pink. Make sure you count your stitches to make sure you have 10 in each. Do moss stitch 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and do one in that last 2 stitches, or last 2 chain 1 spaces. There's one, and there's the other. Switch colors. Single crochet, and do the same thing where you're going to do 8 moss stitch with the pink and then a decrease. I'll meet you at the end of this round. The end of the round, I'm going to slip stitch to the top. I'm not going to do a chain 1 this time, just to reduce that gap there between the 2. Turn your work, chain 1, single crochet, moss stitch. Continue repeating where you have 9 total single crochets in each color, 9 total moss stitches in each color. Once you've completed all of your rounds, fasten off your yarn, pull the green one tight, and fasten off, but leave a long end for weaving in. I will actually tie it to the pink yarn, and then you can weave it in or crochet over it, whichever you prefer. So now I go back and redo my single crochet and chain 1. So continue with your pink, and once you're done with the pink, you will fasten off over here. With the right side of your sweater facing you, join your yarn into the seam area, and you can knot these 2 together if you'd like. And you'll do a single crochet into that seam. We will do single crochet evenly all the way around. Now it will be rather difficult because, as you can see, this is a unfinished edge. So just do your best. I'm going to do 1 single crochet into each row. So this is a single crochet that'll go here, 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 and so on. So do your best to get it in there nice and evenly. 1 single crochet per row. I know it can be difficult working on these edges. Just try to be patient. And I'll show you what I do. For this type of edge, I like to take up those first 2 little loops of yarn. And do my single crochet on top of them. Because if you took the whole thing, you would have a big hole. And then in this next one, you can see I'm taking about 2 loops there. This one, little 2 loops I try to grab. So that's what it's going to start looking like. And do a single crochet for each of the rows. Continue on, and I'll meet you when you get to the other side. Okay, we've gotten back to the point where we're going to start seeing crochet stitches there. So we did a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 stitches placed on each row. You will start single crocheting into each of single crochets and into the chain 1 spaces. Single crochet on top of the single crochet and into the chain 1 space. I'm showing you because it can be a little complicated making sure you get all these stitches correctly. You should come up with 22 total stitches here at the neck at the bottom. So starting where it started becoming single crochets and chain 1s, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 stitches. So you did 16 from the seam down to where it started becoming the single crochets, and then 22 single crochets here. So next you'll do 16 evenly up to your next seam. When you get to your 16th stitch, it should be right in the middle there. And so do the same thing on the other side. You've already got that one in the middle there, so you'll do 15 down to where it starts doing the single crochets, do your 22 across, and then 15 up, because the 16th stitches are the ones in the middle of your seams. At the end of the round, slip stitch to the first single crochet you created at the seam. For round 2 of the neck, don't turn your work. Single crochet into the same stitch you slip stitch into. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then do a decrease. Going through the single crochet, pull up a loop, go into the next single crochet and pull up a loop, single crochet. So do 5 single crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease. You'll do that 15 times all the way back to the seam. I'm at my last decrease. Right before you join to the seam, single crochet that you started with here, and chain 1 and don't turn your work, single crochet back into that same stitch. For this round you will do single crochet all the way around. At the end of round 3 you should have a total of 90 single crochets. Fasten off and leave a tail for weaving in. And that completes your collar. The next step is to work on the bottom part, because that's an unfinished edge as well, so that's what we're going to work on next. We are now going to work on the bottom part of your sweater. So find the seam between your side panel and your front panel, place your hook in there, and we're going to join the yarn into this section here. Slip stitch it, chain 1, and then single crochet that. I'll go ahead and knot these two together and weave that in later. Next, for the side panel, you'll do a single crochet into each of the single crochets, and you'll skip those chain 1 spaces, or since that was the very first row, they're actually chains that you're skipping. So you're doing a single crochet into each single crochet. What I'm showing you here, and we're skipping this little space here. Do your single crochet, skipping that little space or skipped chain from 4 and single crochet into the single crochet. And that's what you're doing on the side panels. So this side and then the panel on the other side, you'll do the same thing where you only single crochet into the single crochets and skipping those skipped chains. This big gap, you're skipping that and single crochet. And then last one you put in the corner. Now see how I have a bit of a dip here? What I'm going to do to fix that is I'm actually going to put a half double crochet there to raise my stitch up to the same height as that single crochet. That's all that does. Now you're going to get into the next portion where you're going to have your skipped and then a single crochet, and these are your front panels, front and back panels. So I will do a single crochet into that skipped space and single crochet into the single crochet. So into that skipped chain 1 space, you'll single crochet and a single crochet on the single crochet. So here's that space, single crochet and a single crochet to the next crochet. All right, so continue that along for your side and front and back panels. On the side panels, you're skipping this chain 1 space. On the back and front panels, you're not. You're going to go ahead and single crochet into each one. Join with a slip stitch to that very first single crochet you started with. Chain 1 and don't turn your work. Single crochet into each stitch along the way. Even if you did a half double crochet into one of the seams, you just need to do a single crochet on top of it now. So single crochet all the way around. The total count was you did a single crochet or maybe a half double crochet at the join, You did 14 along the side panel, another half double crochet or single crochet at the seam, 64 single crochets all along the front and side panel, a half or single crochet into the seam, 14 along the side, another seam, either single crochet or half double crochet, and then finish it off with 64 more single crochets along the back panel and then joining it to the top where you started. Totally, it equals 160 stitches. Continue round 2 at the bottom of your shirt with single crochet along each of those 160 stitches. As a side note, I do have a written pattern that you can buy on my website. Put that link in the description box below. Love and appreciate if you want to like and subscribe to my channel. Share this with somebody that you think might like to make this sweater, and we'll continue on crocheting here. And we're nearing the end. I'll show you what we do at the very end and options if you want to make this longer, shorter. Again, this is for a sized female, medium, about an 8 or a 10p. It is made to be shorter here at the base, and to make it longer you would simply do more single crochet rounds here that I'm doing right now. What we're going to end up doing is doing one more round of this, and I'll show you what we do with the next round after that. At the end of round 2 for your bottom, you're going to slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet that you made, chain 1 and single crochet back into that stitch, and do single crochet around. If you like the moss stitch, I really recommend you check out my moss stitch scarf. It's super easy to do. It's a 1-row repeat, and it's a beautiful scarf. Really dense, elegant looking. I'm curious what color you decided to use for your sweater. Are you making it a crop top too, or are you making it longer? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see it too, so go ahead and share it too if you'd like. Got a Facebook group you can join, crochet one. I'll put that down in the box too so you can find it. It's a good place you can share some of your creations that you've made from my channel. I'd love to see what you do. If you want to make this longer, continue doing rounds as we're doing now so that it's a longer sweater for you. But if you want to keep it short and cute and petite, then just do these 3 rounds at the bottom. That's all you'll need to do. If you want to make this a bigger sweater, you would have to do additional rounds on your front and back panel when you did the square, and then you'd have to make your side panels a little bit longer or taller, and then your sleeve count would be off a little bit too. I'm sorry I don't have that change in pattern, but it could be that you would do it like that and you'd have to kind of recount how to do the sleeves that would fit you best. The sleeves that I did, however, are pretty big already. They would fit a lot of people, most people. So adding length would be easier. You just do this exact same pattern we did today. Just add more of these rounds at the bottom to make it longer. Really thankful that you're here watching my channel and that you've decided to join me today and make a sweater in this tutorial that I made for you. It took me a lot of time, a lot of hours to design this sweater, make it just right. I had to frog it a few times, things like that. But I am happy to make it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Share this with your friends, subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching. Finish off this with your 3rd and last round of the base. Weave in all of your ends as well. Sometimes I like to weave in ends when I just don't feel like crocheting and I'm sitting there, maybe I'm watching a video and weaving in ends at the same time. They gotta be done. Some people don't like it, but once you get used to it, it's really not so bad. Take care, and thanks again. Have a great day. I'll catch you at the next video.